Next up, we have Breath of the Moon, from Fear and Hunger to Termina original soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician / composer, and I am going to try and explain things in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what is happening here musically. This is recorded live on stream, so keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of pausing as I explain things as I go. If you like the sound of that, just make sure you're following / subscribed, whichever term you want to use, to the channel. Like the video, share the video, join the Discord, all that good stuff. And with that being said, I think I covered everything. Let's start. Breath of the Moon. Let's go. Okay. 7 seconds in, and I think this is composed by the same person. Is this composed by the same composer as last time? Because it has some of the things as we've seen before. But yes, we start with a couple of layers here, but we are starting same composer. So Miro, Havringen. So we start with what is called rhythmic displacement. The drums are likely not playing what is called the downbeat. In every piece of music, you will have a time signature. Overwhelmingly, in Western music, we use 4/4. The upper number is the number of notes, and the lower number determines which kind of notes, rhythmically speaking. So for whole notes, it's 1. For half notes is 2. Quarter notes is 4. Eighth notes, 8. So on and so forth. It's a battle thing. I can see that because the drum that played is a war drum. So yes, so here you have, it's very easy in English because in Spanish and other languages, these notes have different names. But this can go for, it just keeps doubling and doubling. Like I've seen measures of like 215, 2016s, right? Like those exist. Not that, 128, sorry. So not one, but 230 or 264, whatever the number is. I don't do well with big numbers. So point being that we have a measure, which I don't know what we're gonna have here in terms of measure. For sake of example, I'm gonna be saying that this is a 4/4 measure. So we have 4 beats in this measure, and in the next measure, and in the next measure. And what we're having with the rhythmic displacement is that the drum is not going to play in 4/4. Either the drum is not going to play in 4/4, or the little synth / piano that we have at the top is not going to be playing in 4/4. But what this does is that we have one of the two options. Either the drum is playing the first beat first, because that was the first beat we heard, but then he's going to be playing like the third beat, the next measure, and then the fourth beat in the next measure, then the next measure is not going to play at all, and then it goes back to the first beat. Or, the drum is playing each individual, what is called a downbeat. Downbeat is basically the start of the measure, the stronger beats, and the piano here is subdivided in another rhythm. So this is rhythmic displacement, or a polyrhythm. You have 2 elements playing conflicting rhythms at the same tempo. Tempo, of course, being the speed at which these notes are played, usually measured in beats per minute, BPM. So we either have the piano playing faster beats over here. So it's playing like it's playing the first beat, then like in between the second and the third beat, and then the next measure is going to play between the third and the fourth beat, something like that. It's going to be something more unstable, and it's going to mean the rhythms here are clashing, because in the mind of one of these two instruments, let's say the drum is playing in 4/4, but this piano is secretly playing in subdivisions of, say, 3/4. So if that were to happen, then yes, we could have the downbeats on the piano here. So it would be the first beat, then the fourth beat, then so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 in the third beat, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the second beat, and it would clash with what the drum is doing. So it's going to be either or going on over here, but the overall effect that we are going to have is that of rhythmic displacement. It doesn't feel like they are supposed to work together. The most famous example of rhythmic displacement that we've seen in a video game in recent memory is Dark Souls 3, The Dancer of the Boreal Valley. One of the reasons why her soundtrack is so tricky, because usually the attack patterns of these enemies are tied to the music. But in the case of The Dancer of the Boreal Valley, the drum in that first phase, and usually in the second one as well, is in rhythmic displacement. It's playing a polyrhythm. And it's just such a subtle thing that it throws you off, because we are used as human beings by now to have the drums be what dictates the rhythm, to be what dictates what time signature we are in. So when you engage in rhythmic displacement, the most common and easy thing to do to throw off the listener is to displace the rhythm of the drums and trick your listener into thinking that we are in a time signature that we are not in. So the piano is looping in a way that the drum isn't, and we are seeing this conflict. And of course, we also have the white noise, I guess, machine or loop that we've heard Miro use so many times, which is cut at almost random times, makes everything feel very unpredictable. Let's see where he takes it. So yeah, you can hear the drum is almost erratic as opposed to the piano. And yeah, it seems the piano... Yeah, the rhythm is being dictated by the piano. Or that beep up there. That beep is very, very... So yeah, it's going to be either or, depending on how it's notated. At the end of the day, the result that we are seeing is the conflict and the rhythm displacement. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh. And now, with a simple addition of one more percussion, we have fallen from rhythmic displacement to a straight 4/4. That extra percussion there, which could be maybe a tambourine. I don't think it's a tambourine. A shaker or something like that. It might be a tambourine. Now it has brought a proper beat to that drum, and now the piano, which was playing this completely weird thing, just everything is now aligned into a proper beat. This sounds very tribal, sounds very straightforward, very, very primitive to an extent, which gives us this impression of combat. The vessel's parts, afraid, almost continue. Yeah. Let's see. Oh. We have another layer over there. The pitch has shifted. The drum has gone back to this. We are getting stingers from other instruments. In music, you will have oftentimes stingers. Stingers are one and done sounds. Usually they're very short bursts of music of other instruments or other elements. In this case, we are hearing all these different samples, kind of just playing once and then leaving. Stingers are very, very common, very good for building texture, very good for building atmosphere, especially if it's a one and done. Very, very good use of creative variations and to diversify the ensemble that you're using. It's really fun. It can be tricky, especially if you add too much of it. But so far, something I like about Miro's soundtracks is that he uses so little that these additions feel like they both belong and don't belong at the same time. Because by then you're used to the minimalist soundtrack. It's very cool. Let's continue. We have like the steam engine. We have this bassy synth. It might be undertones, not undertones, subsonics. And once again, we are having rhythmic, almost rhythmic displacement. That tone, that beat at the top has now changed ever so slightly, and it's giving the drums once again this sense of feeling off. So battle theme is somewhat unique in the aspect that it's not the usual battle theme you expect. It's tense and a twisted comforting tune lures you in before revealing itself to be a nightmare. Yep. Yeah, we have a lot of these smaller samples, and we're having almost like a melodic thing, because a lot of the things that we have to keep in mind, the Fear and Hunger soundtracks tend to be very atonal. Of course, the difference between tonal and atonal music, the overwhelming majority of music is tonal that we have. That just means it follows the rules of harmony, the rules of melodies, rules of rhythm. It just follows everything nice and neat. Atonal just means it's mostly free form. It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to not make sense in that sense, right? I said sense way too many times there. Which I personally consider atonal to be bad music, but a wonderful tool for games such as this one, where once you apply this to a video game or to a movie or to a TV show or any other medium other than the music, just the music itself, it can just deepen the impact of whatever is happening. So, yes, I can tell. Let's see. So yeah, the drum beat sounds very improvised, like it can't quite keep track of the rhythm. It's almost there. And we're having these very atonal, very tense samples at both the top and the bottom. We're having these synths playing in and out, almost like they're fading in and out. And we finally bring back that shaker, tambourine, whatever it is, and we bring it back. We accelerate the beat for the little key beat playing, like almost like a bell, luring you in. It's always there. Oh, there we go. And by the way, what that thing is doing above, that sound, that tone above is doing, is called an ostinato. An ostinato is when you have an instrument repeat the same thing over and over. It's the difference between an ostinato and either a drone / pedal note is that a pedal note is one note that is being held constantly. A drone is usually more than one. It's usually like a power chord, we would say. More than one note, and it's just held indefinitely. An ostinato is a phrase or a series of notes or a melody or something like that that plays over and over, that plays in repeat. And so far we've had that beep do a lot of ostinatos. We've had, like, I think 3 different variations of that ostinato in different pitches and everything, and it has been basically the metronome for this whole thing. And character options, second game, gives you a choice to play. Nice. Nice. Let's keep it a surprise, yeah. Oh. Ooh, one of those toms was very, very loud. Now we're playing to the beat along with the beep. It has slowed down. So now that whenever the shaker is gone, the drums and the beep get out of sync. There's the rhythmic displacement that keeps happening over in these, almost like they are each doing their own thing, trying to face one another, but not entirely being capable of or not willing to do it. It's an interesting concept, and we're having still these stingers that are repeating again. But you know, these things are there's a lot of layers here, adding just pure texture. Yeah, and very faintly we have those strings playing some very, very faint chords, very dissonant chords. Of course, there's the concept of dissonance, which the difference between something being dissonant and something being bad is that dissonance serves a purpose. There's a difference between a dissonant chord and an unstable chord and a consonant chord. The opposite of dissonance is consonance. And consonance just means, consonido, kind of comes from the Latin, the Italian. Con means with, dis means without. So a consonant chord is going to be just a good old chord, right? Like a major chord. Dum, 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 dum. It sounds nice, all the notes are together. A dissonant chord is going to be the notes clashing against one another, and we're having that in the background. And when you add that to what I believe is the subsonic music that Miro uses, which is, under the capacity of the human ear, like we can't hear it, but it's there, so we'll be able to feel it. Subsonic notes, especially if exposed to them for a long time, can build a lot of pressure in your chest. It can flat out give you anxiety. Not long term, of course, but there you go. The chimes desync from the beat at 45 mark, like a heartbeat suddenly gone irregular. Yeah. And the beat is gone. The beeping is gone. Just like that, it stopped. And these dissonant strings are just creeping closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And the drums are gone, and everything is gone. Ooh. Sounds almost like a heartbeat of something that isn't human. Very interesting use there, because it's usually the kind of sample you would hear for a heartbeat, but the thing is, a heartbeat beats on 2s. This one's beating on 3s. So there's something wrong with this. There's something bestial about this, something extraordinary, something unusual, something disturbing about this. Very interesting. And we bring in some of those samples back. The stingers. And there you go. There you go. What a track. That was very interesting. This was probably one of the most tonal pieces we've heard from Miro, and since you've shown me. Really good stuff. This being a fight, a combat track makes sense, because it had the war drums going on for it. I liked how just raw a lot of the sound is. Over here, it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting stuff. We are going to play Fear and Hunger one day. So there you go. And there you have it. That was the Breath of the Moon from the Fear and Hunger to Termina OST. Very, very interesting use of atonal music. Again, I don't like atonal music as music, but as function, this kind of stuff is really good. He really upgraded his game for this. Yeah, very different from what we heard before. Really good. Like, this is decent stuff, especially considering that it's atonal music, which I've made my comments very clear about that. So there you go. There you go. And once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA. I am a professionally trained musician / composer, and I hope that I've been able to explain things here in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what has happened. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff if you're watching this on the YouTube video recording, whatever. And if you want to catch these streams live, check out the Twitch channel, the Discord for the schedules, and links down below available for you to be able to follow the channels. Hopefully you'll be able to do this. And if you want to request a song and you're watching this on the YouTube video, just leave a comment with what you want me to cover next. Game soundtracks only, and original soundtracks only. And with that, there you go. Very good stuff. Fear and Hunger to OST. Very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, let's move on.